Welcome to A Student of Leadership, a micro-podcast where leaders are made one habit at a time. Hosted by Rob Adams, a leadership veteran with 30 years of experience, this podcast explores key concepts that define exceptional leadership. Each episode delves into a powerful word or strategy, offering practical insights and real-world stories. Whether you're just starting out or an experienced executive, join Rob as he guides you in learning, growing, and leading with purpose.
There's a moment every leader knows. Your gut says one thing, the data says another. And now AI is offering a third option you didn't even ask for. Everyone is waiting, and the clock is moving. That's not a decision problem. That's a pressure problem. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Student of Leadership, powered by Unipro Food Service and our Leadership Development Program. I'm Robert Adams, your micro-podcast host, and welcome to episode 57. Today, we are talking about decisions under pressure. Not how to be smarter, but how to make better choices when time is short and the stakes are extremely high. It's now time to pull up a chair, sit beside me, because you're at the leadership table. Real leaders, real growth, and one table. Here's something important to name. Pressure doesn't make leaders think more clearly. It makes them think more automatically. Under stress, we default to habits. We rely on what worked before. We move fast to reduce discomfort. That's why great leadership under pressure isn't about instinct. It's about a process. In fact, a powerful, well-documented example of this comes from CAL FIRE and the incident command systems used in wildland firefighting. Fire commanders often make decisions with incomplete information, conflicting data, rapidly changing conditions, and real life and death consequences. They don't wait for perfect certainty. They don't rely on gut alone. Instead, they slow the decision just enough to follow a disciplined process. Before committing resources, commanders are trained to ask, what do we know right now? What assumptions are we making? What could change next? That structure doesn't slow action, it prevents panic. Studies of incident command failures show something really telling. Breakdowns rarely happen because leaders lacked courage. They happen because leaders skipped the pause that surfaces those really bad blind spots. The lesson for leadership is simple here. Good decisions don't come from confidence. They come from examining how you decide. And here's the myth worth letting go of. Strong leaders trust their gut. Strong leaders test their gut. I call this the pressure shortcut. When leaders move too fast to question how they're choosing, not just what they're choosing. Let that sit for a second. The pressure shortcut is when leaders move too fast to question how they're choosing, not just what they're choosing. So from a behavioral standpoint, this makes complete sense. Under pressure, the brain seeks speed over accuracy. AI adds options. Data adds noise. And intuition feels safest because it's familiar. That's why decision quality under pressure depends on really important reflection and not reaction. So I've got 5 questions to sit with you today. Not to answer quickly, but to notice patterns. Here's the first one. When pressure is high, how do I speed up or slow down? Number 2, do I look for confirmation or challenge my assumptions? Number 3, do I ask Who will feel the impact of this decision? Number 4, do I rely on past success more than present context? And finally, do I confuse decisiveness with clarity? You see, these 5 questions reveal far more than the decision itself. And now here's a simple experiment I'd like you to try this week. The next time you feel rushed to decide on anything, pause for 1 minute. Not 5, just take 1 minute and ask yourself the following question. What process am I using right now? Not what answer you prefer, not what feels urgent. What process is actually guiding you? You see, that 1 minute pause alone improves your judgment. And everyone, if this episode resonated with you, you are far from being alone, because every leader feels this extreme pressure at times. Few examine how it shapes their choices, though, and that's why we're gathering at the leadership table, to lead with discipline and not just speed. You see, food gave us roots. Leadership gives us purpose. Real leaders, real growth, one table. And if you want to keep learning with me throughout the week, here's where we stay. Simpatico Connected. On Mondays, the leadership table arrives on Beehive. This is where we build decision processes that hold up when the stakes are high. On Wednesdays, we have the Breaking Bread, a Student of Leadership newsletter, and it shows up on LinkedIn. And you know what else shows up on LinkedIn? All week long, I'm providing insights through my thought leadership Monday through Friday. This is where we simplify decision-making into moments where leaders can actually use them. And then we finish out the week on Fridays with the Mindful Leader. It lands on Substack, and it's inviting you to examine how you decide, not just what you decide, especially under pressure. Yep, these are all different spaces, but it's one commitment to better leadership. Well, we are done our episode 57 for today. I am Robert Adams, your micro podcast host. And until next time, I will see you at the table. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Student of Leadership. Leadership is about who we become and how we help others grow. If you found value in this podcast, share it with a fellow leader and connect with Rob on LinkedIn or leave a review. New episodes drop weekly, so don't forget to subscribe to stay connected. Until next time, keep learning, growing, and leading with intention. Remember, great leaders are made one habit at a time. See you next time on A Student of Leadership.